What's happening, people? How y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of What They No, it's not. This message is in the madness with yours truly, Longhorn the comedian. I guess I clicked the button a little early tonight, so I started a couple of minutes early. Please forgive me. I guess you might say I'm just happy to be here, happy to be back in front of y'all. Happy to be sharing my screen, talking with y'all. So thank y'all for coming out and hanging with me. Hope you had a great week. I know I've had a pretty good week myself. I what have I done this week? Oh man, it's been a busy week. I had three shows this weekend: Friday, Saturday, one Friday, two Saturday, with in O'Fallon, Missouri, at the Backdoor Comedy Club, which was awesome. It was fun. Myself, Carolyn Agnew, and oh God, I can't call that young man's name, but anyway, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Hamilton. Sorry about that. But very, very funny young man. And of course, Carolyn, she travels with me. She's a very funny lady. Check her out. Look her up on Facebook. Yes, my Cowboys got their butt tore off today, but hey, that's how it happens. I'm still rocking my jersey. That was my number when I played ball, number 44. I was a fullback and a middle linebacker. And I'd show you the back of the shirt that says Longhorn on the back. The kids had it made for me, so I appreciate that. As y'all pop in, check in, make sure you give me a thumbs up. What let me know that you hear. Give me a like or something, because I still ain't got this thing figured out to where I could see who I could see who's watching. Which is weird, but I'm thinking about changing software again. So a lot going on this week. I'm headed to Kansas City this week. This Friday, I'll be at this call sign, bar and grill restaurant called Call Sign up there, doing the things with the veterans. So I see, so far I see Nanette and I see Adria. I want to say, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for joining me this evening. And but like I said, whoever else is watching, I can't see you, so I don't know if you're here if you don't check in, and let me know that you're checking me out. So, did any of you guys watch 60 Minutes this evening? I thought that was rather interesting. No, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm just going to say, it was interesting. Um, I just, I love politics, but I really try to stay away from discussing politics because people feel a little funny about it at times. So I just kind of stay away from it. But like I say, we got a week to go, a little over a week to go. If you haven't voted, get out and vote. Hey, what's happening, Randy? Good to see you. Brother Eric, what's up, bro? Glad to see you. Thank you for stopping by, holler at me. My dude Eric Rivers, one of the funniest men in St. Louis, bro. I love you dearly. But like I said, I try not to get into politics. I love politics, but it just does something to us. And I'd be glad when the election is over, so we can find something else to be upset about. How about that? But if you haven't got out and vote, get out and vote. I don't care who you vote for, just make it happen, okay? So, with that being said, and like I said, I do apologize for starting a couple minutes early this evening. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing here. I'm sorry, got the wrong glasses on. Bam, let's get these glasses on. There we go, not so much glare. But so my topic tonight is dispelling myths about Black people. That's what we're gonna do. And what brought this to my attention was last night we was riding to the show, Carolyn and we were having a discussion, and she was telling me about some of the groups that she's in, or one of the groups that she's in, and the conversations that they've been having about race and social topics. And it was very interesting to me. Well, some of y'all know I've started a group called Let's Talk About It, Bridging the Racial and Social Gaps. It's on Facebook. If you'd like to join it, send me a message. I'll send you an invite. It's just that simple. It's a private group. Nobody knows that you're in it, but the people that are in it are learning a lot. So hey, I think that's a plus by itself. But I decided I wanted to talk about some of the myths that people have about Black people, because I've had some of these conversations myself with people over time. But one thing I want everybody to know hey, Charlotte, glad to see you. But one thing I want everybody to know about Black people versus, white people or just people of color in general is that we are more alike than we are unalike. Okay. We want the very same things that you want out of life. You know, we do. We want the same things that you want out of life or out of this country. We want a good life. Who doesn't want a good life? We want to live a good life, liberty, Yeah, freedom. We like to, have the freedom to come and go as we choose, as we have been given the right to, just like anybody else. We'd like a good job or a good business. We all want that. So we also want to be able to vote. Yeah, we do. We do actually believe in the system. But the other part of that, though, is we don't want to just be looked upon as an opportunity when it comes time to vote. Uh, because quite frankly, some of the parties don't look to black people until it's time to cast some ballots. And then they want to talk to us. True. Last but not least, we want to be able to pursue our hopes, our dreams, that pursuit of happiness thing. We want to be able to do that. And that's right along the lines with anybody and everybody else in this country. That's what they want to be able to do, is to, pursue what makes them happy. Pursue their dreams, and not only pursue them, but to obtain them. And there are certain people that do stand in the way of those hopes and dreams, but at the same time, some of us are a little bit more creative, and we're able to find ways around those and make our dreams come true. I'm one of them, and I believe you are too. So, the myths I want to debunk for you this evening, and I'm debunking them because I know this for a fact. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't know this. But one of the big fact myths is that a lot of black people or people of color are raised in single family households, single parent households. That's not always true. My children weren't. As a lot, I know a lot of other people whose children were not. Their mother and father were there. Sometimes it had to be a stepfather, but they had two parents in the household. So that is not what's destroying the black community. I can tell you what had a very big part in destroying the black community was desegregation. When you take busing the kids out of the community, sending them to another community to go to school. Well, when you take the children, which are the heart of the community, out of the community, then everybody else follows. When you started closing black businesses, like for instance, if you're not familiar with Wall Street, Black Wall Street, I'm sorry, in Tulsa, there was a very lucrative black black owned area where, black businesses, and they were thriving. But when you take that economic stability out of the neighborhood, there goes the neighborhood. When you take the children out of the neighborhood, there goes the neighborhood. Because see, when you take the children out, then the schools are no longer there. If the schools are no longer there, then the churches are no longer there, and boom, it's all out of the neighborhood. So it destabilizes it dramatically. But a lot of us were actually raised by two parents. The next one's going to be, let's see. My next one is we don't all have criminal records. No, we haven't all been to prison. None of it. Some of us don't. Some of us have people who have never been to prison in our families, or you understand where I'm coming from. So we're not all part of the prison system, the welfare system, the give me that, give me this. But we're not all part of those systems. The vast majority of us, we all get out here and work hard for what we get. Unfortunately, the opportunities that we're allowed are limited. Yes, I said it. They are limited. And a lot of times, a lot of us have to go out and make our own way, build our own businesses, make our own paths, our own road to move forward. But we are not all, no, we are not all part of a social, no, of the social system, the gimme system, as I call it. Now, growing up, yeah, some of our families probably did fall on hard times and have to rely on welfare or food stamps. But so have a lot of other people that are not black. The system wasn't designed for us. We just so happen to be able to utilize that system. Let's see here. One of my favorites. Black people are not patriotic. We do not believe in this country. We hate this country. We want to burn it down. We want to take advantage. We just want to do all kinds of negative and bad things to it. That is so far from the truth. A lot of us are very patriotic. The situation with Kaepernick, kneeling for the flag. Oh, he's unpatriotic. He's not respecting the flag. Well, again, we tried to explain it to you, but you didn't listen. Now, to say that we're unpatriotic would mean that you did not know that the very first person to die in the Revolutionary War was a black man. Yeah, go look it up. Crispus Attucks. It's Attuck. First person to die in the Revolutionary War was a black man. We have served in the military. We have helped build this country. Black people built the White House. Black people built Washington, D.C. We have built a great part of this country. And people go, oh, you did that because you were slaves. No, a lot of this was built after slavery. We built it because we wanted to work. We joined the military because we wanted to show that we do appreciate where we're at. Now, true enough, after slavery, we could have packed up, locked up, and got on boats and went back to Africa. But no, our forefathers felt that it was necessary for us to be here. And a lot of them were very proud of what they were able to build. So you have people like me who are very proud of my lineage and heritage because I know what they did and what your other people's people have done for this country. Now, where I get upset at is when our president, number 45, says things like, tries to point out what he has done for black people. He's done more for black people since Abraham Lincoln. What the problem there is, the problem there is very simple. I call it verbal segregation. When you single us out talking about what you have done for us, instead of including us in the language that you use about what you have done for the rest of the country, then that segregates us from the rest of the country. We don't deserve to be segregated from the rest of the country because we helped build this country. So we should be very much included. Facts. Now, black people want to be treated special. No, we really don't. We want to be treated equal. We go to work every day just like you do. We come home, we pay bills, we take care of our children, we take care of our yards, we pay our taxes. So, what's special about that? All we want to be is equal. I'm not asking you to look at me as greater than thou because I'm not. Neither is the next black man or woman. We just want to be treated equally. We want to be able to walk down the street without a police officer pulling us over. We want to walk down the street or drive a nice car without somebody asking us, did we steal it? Case in point, true story. I was working at Jiffy Lube. I was driving a Cadillac Eldorado. Every Friday, my thing was when I got paid, I would go get my car washed at the car wash. And it was, it was back then, it was like $10, to get the full service car wash. And I'm standing there in my greasy uniform. I just got off work and I'm running my car through the car wash. And this white guy goes, man, that's a nice car. I said, well, thank you, sir. You getting your boss's car washed? That's awful kind of you. I just looked at him and said, no, man, that's my car. We just want to be treated equal. We don't want to be looked down on. We're not asking for handouts. We're willing to do it ourselves. We have already been doing the work. So that's not what we're looking for. Let's see. Black people do not hate the police. We don't. Because a lot of us have police officers or other members of law enforcement in our family. So how can we hate them? I mean, don't get me wrong. We do not like the ones that don't like us. We do not like the ones that abuse us or treat us bad or treat us negatively, or the ones that are caught on camera or on a hot mic talking about they supposed to go out here and kill them some animals. No, we're not big fans of those. And I can't see why you would be either. Okay, back in the day, police officers used to walk our neighborhoods, walking the beat, and we knew them and they knew us. Matter of fact, if you read my book, I talk about Officer Todd, who went on to be Chief Todd. I almost became a police officer myself. We do not hate the police. We are just not fans of the ones that do not treat us like human beings. And I'm sure you can understand and appreciate that. Would you like a cop that treated you bad? Yeah, I love the good ones. I love the good ones to pieces. I do. I had a cop not when I had my last truck, I had the tailgate wrapped. He pulled me over just to talk to me about my tailgate. He thought it was awesome. He didn't want to search my car. He didn't want to search me. He just wanted to talk about my tailgate. So this is just a few things, and maybe I should write about it in my book. Try to dispel some of these myths about people of color. But see, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because the biggest problem that we have in this country is that we don't know each other. We know very little about each other. We see each other and we know of each other, but a lot of our beliefs and our belief system about each other comes from what we've been told by other people or what we've seen on television. You always see us as unfortunately, in a lot of situations, you see us as the bad guy, you know, but we're not. We're fathers, we're grandfathers, we're uncles, we're cousins, we're police officers, we're lawyers, we're judges, we're millionaires. A couple of them are billionaires. We pose no threat, although we are assumed to be a threat. And it's funny how I can be and I'm speaking from experience, how I can be in a room of 500 people and I could be the only raisin in that bowl of rice, but I am looked at as the possible threat. And what the hell am I going to do in this room with 1,000 white men and 2,000 eyes staring at me? Yeah, I'm slow and I may be dressed funny, but I'm not stupid. But again, the biggest reason why I wanted to talk about this is because we don't know about each other. We don't we might invite each other to each other's houses, but how often do we go? We don't. Oh man, I got something going on. Hey man, next time you're in St. Louis, won't you stop by? Okay, I will. And you just zoom right on through. And I'm not lying. If you cut me, I'm going to bleed the same color you're going to bleed. If I drink too much alcohol, I'm going to get drunk just like you are. One other myth that I guess I should dispel is that all of us black men are not trying to get us a white woman. We're not. Not that we're prejudiced or anything like that. Hey man, if you ever stop and looked at black women, we got black women in every shade you can imagine. We got what Baskin Robbins say, they got 32 flavors, 31 flavors. Shit, man, we got 124 flavors. We can get them from light bright to almost white to 4 shades darker than asphalt. So yeah, every brother's not trying to get a white woman, and every brother's not trying to drive a Cadillac with dubs on it with the spinning. We ain't all trying to do that. We're not all trying to sit around and get drunk and get high all day. Some of us, a lot of us, a whole lot of us are being good parents, good men and good women, raising our children to be upstanding citizens, to be able to stand on their own 2 feet, and to be prosperous members of society. That is what we are. So when you hear somebody make the conversation about what they have done for black people, why don't you open up a history book, or even you ain't got to do that. You can look it up online and just look at the accomplishments of black people. And I'm going to say this. It's along the political line. So hey, if you cut me off at this point, that's on you. I read the other day somebody put down that President Obama was the worst president in the history of this country. That is a flat out lie. Because if he was the best president, if he was the worst, he wouldn't have been elected for 2 terms. No, he did not directly do anything that would directly benefit black people tangibly, but intangibly, he did a lot for us. He gave our children something to look forward to. He gave our children something to look up to, a position to aspire to. He helped them to have hope and possibly see the possibility of doing something more with their lives than being a basketball player or a football player. So he did a lot. Now, as far as his accomplishments, you can Google his accomplishments, but I just find it kind of offensive when people say he was the worst president. No, he wasn't. And if you did a little research and stopped listening to people talk, you see that he wasn't. I'm not going to talk about 45. But again, the next time you hear somebody say, we've done more for black people, quite frankly, I find it offensive. It's right there on the board of calling me a nigger. Yeah, I know it's not a word you hear me say, but yeah, I said it. How about looking and seeing what we have done for this country? How about that? So that's my message for tonight. Look over here and see what we're talking about. I just do not like the fact that I cannot see everybody and everything that's going on here. I'm just gonna have to find me another software to do this with because I cannot see everything. And I see, let me see. What do I see over here? I see James said, watch out, wife is listening. I think that to see the beauty in us, they would have to see the ugly in themselves, and most aren't ready to look in the mirror. You might be right. But you know what? Honestly, I have found that the people who I've met people who have just flat out told me I'm a racist, and I accept them for that. But the thing that I found most valuable was when they were willing to tell me, hey man, I'm like this because this is what I was taught, or I'm like this because this is what I heard. And they have actually sat down and had a conversation with me. At the end of that conversation, they learned that what they had been taught was wrong. And I'm not saying I'm the quintessential black man, that I'm Moses. I'm not saying that at all. But sometimes people, I say it all the time, when people know better, they do better. And when they learn better, they tend to do better. So unfortunately, but fortunately, we have been teaching people for a very long time. I guess we still in that, I guess we still in that teaching mode. And I know you go, man, it's not my job to educate people. Yes, if we're going to do better, it's our job to educate each other. So hold on one second. I hit the wrong button again. Oh, but now I can see what y'all talking about over there at least. So, but like I say, it's our job to educate people. If they want to learn, talk to them. Spend a couple of minutes. Maybe they'll buy you a cup of coffee just for a conversation. Have that hard conversation. Sometimes some people just want to learn. And if they learn one thing, they want to learn another, and they want to learn another. And then what happens? The world starts to change. Little by little, and they can start with your conversation. Randy, I hope you're doing better, my friend. I know you was going through some back issues, so I hope you're doing better. Again, Eric, good to see you, my brother. Appreciate you. Charlotte, of course, love to see you. Glad you hope you're doing well. Thank you, Annette, for the compliment on the jersey. Eric, you know what? I will speak on that. You're right. We want our kids to come home. And I know I did a show about this and we talked about it, and I actually started crying on camera, and I'm sorry for that. I apologize, but Eric's right. We want the same thing that y'all want. We want our children to come home. And our Caucasian brothers and sisters, y'all don't have that to worry about. Not as much as we do. You really don't. But that is a truth of the matter. My son and my grandson were here today. Both of my daughters and one of my granddaughters was here. And even though I did not plan to see them, I was happy to see them. Why? Because I worry about them. I pray about them. I won't say I worry. I think about them, concerned about them every day. And I want one thing, for them to make it home and not to be a statistic. A lot of people don't have to worry about that. So Eric, yeah, you're right. James, hey, my brother James, glad to see you, man. And you're right, Randy. When I was growing up, the police did show respect. They showed respect, and we gave them respect. Although I will tell you one quick story. My brother and I, we were 7 and 8 years old, and we didn't have a car, so my mother used to make us walk to the laundromat with clothes in a basket, with 2 baskets of clothes in a wagon. And this one particular day, it started snowing as we was walking back home in the snow. It was only about 4 blocks, but we was walking back home with these two baskets of clothes in this red wagon. And these two police officers pulled us over, wanted to search our laundry to make sure we weren't moving drugs. Now, if it wouldn't have been for another cop not too much longer after that, named Officer Todd that I told you about, that showed me a different side to police officers, I probably could have grew up very easily hating police, but I don't. We love the good ones. Um, James said, "Watch out, my wife is listening." Well, guys, that's all I got for the night. That's the message. I thank y'all for, man, I went over tonight. I thank y'all for coming in, popping in, hanging in here with me. I lost a few people, looks like, but hey, for those of y'all that did hang in there, I greatly appreciate it. I hope you got something out of my messages. But as of course, as I always say, four things. Keep God first in your life, or whatever your higher power is. Believe in yourself, respect yourself, love yourself. Yeah. Take care of your children, respect our vets, and last but not least, have a conversation with somebody that doesn't look like you and see, you might just see your opinion may change. I'm Longhorn. God bless y'all. $2.